Have you ever thought that masturbation is just a private matter? Actually, it can help increase resistance, especially for older people like you. But, is it better to do it during the day or at night? Leave your opinion in the comments section below. Daytime or nighttime, which time do you choose? Hi. In old age, we care more about our health. People often advise: eat nutritious food,
Sleep on time.
exercise regularly. But there is one thing that few people talk about. That is, masturbation, a very private act. Does it affect the immune system? And if it does, is masturbating during the day better? Or is it really effective at night? It may sound strange, but this is a topic that has been the subject of many serious scientific studies. Today's video will help you understand better. And who knows, you may have another simple way to increase your resistance every day. Don't forget to leave a comment. Do you choose daytime or nighttime? Your opinion will make the video more vivid. So when an older person relieving physiological needs, what does the body actually experience? Let's explore further, to understand that this seemingly very private thing can bring many values to health. The first thing to affirm, masturbation is not wrong or unscientific. It is a completely natural part of the human body's operating mechanism, from adulthood to old age. And more specifically, as age increases, the body gradually loses many of its natural regulatory functions. Emotions are easily unbalanced, sleep becomes erratic, and the immune system reacts more slowly. At this time, moments of releasing, even if they only happen alone, can reactivate the nervous and endocrine systems. This is something that many older people rarely share. Physiologically, every time you reach orgasm, even through self-stimulation, your body automatically releases a series of biological substances. Dopamine is the first. It makes you feel satisfied, relieved, and sometimes happier than taking a sedative. Then there are endorphins, natural painkillers, which help relax muscles, lower blood pressure, and reduce body tension. And finally, oxytocin, also known as the cuddle hormone, a special hormone that helps you relax deeply, sleep well, and calm your immune system. There is an interesting study published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine, showing that people who maintain healthy sexual activity, including masturbation, often have higher levels of IgA. This is an important antibody in the immune system. Therefore, for the elderly, when endocrine hormones decrease and insomnia often occurs, gentle release can bring unexpected benefits. The feeling of relaxation afterwards not only helps you sleep deeper, but also helps the body readjust many functions that are stagnant. It is like lubricating the biological machine that has begun to dry out over time. You see, sometimes, just a small action at the right time, in the right way, can bring comprehensive benefits. Now you understand why a seemingly simple action can bring many benefits to both physical and mental health. But there is one factor that few people pay attention to, that is, time of day. We cannot ignore the role of the biological clock. It determines many things: when we are most awake, when to eat, when to sleep, and when to release physiological needs. In the morning, when the body just wakes up, the hormone dopamine begins to be gently activated, preparing for a new day. If at that time, you perform physiological release in a moderate and comfortable way, dopamine will increase more strongly, leading to a feeling of excitement, optimism, and a clearer mind. This is the reason why many people after masturbating in the morning feel more awake, work more focused, and are in a happier mood throughout the day. At the University of Pennsylvania, USA, a research team led by Professor Ian Kerner discovered older people who have regular sexual activity, even without actual intercourse, often have higher concentrations of NK cells, natural killer cells. These are special cells that act as frontline defense forces in the immune system, capable of destroying viruses, bacteria, and even abnormal cells. In addition, dopamine also inhibits cortisol, a stress hormone. As Pro knows, stress is the #1 enemy of resistance, especially in the elderly. So morning. Not necessarily true for everyone, but if you are someone who feeling tired, depressed, low on energy in the morning,
Sleeping poorly et asili irritable.
or simply wanting to start the day in a good mood. A gentle, discreet physical release, before breakfast or during a relaxing lunch break, can be a natural remedy to help balance your emotions. However, there are some important points to note. Avoid masturbating when you are hungry, after a full meal, or when you are exhausted. Your body needs to be stable to avoid getting more tired. If you are taking sedatives, or have low blood pressure, be careful and consult your doctor before maintaining this habit. Do not consider this a miracle drug to be used too often, because any physiological behavior, no matter how good, if abused, can still be counterproductive. Have you ever tried to decompress in the morning? If so, please share your feelings in the comments section. Maybe it will help others understand you better. If the morning is when the body needs alertness and energy, then at night, before going to bed, is when the body needs to relax, soothe and recover. This is also the time when physiological release can become a natural sleep-supporting habit, especially useful for those who often have trouble sleeping, like most elderly people. When you masturbate in the evening, especially about 30 to 45 minutes before bedtime, the body will secrete an important hormone, melatonin. This is the sleep hormone, responsible for regulating your sleep-wake cycle. Melatonin not only makes you feel sleepy naturally, but also helps you maintain deep and stable sleep throughout the night. A quality sleep is not simply for resting. When you sleep deeply enough, your body starts to activate the repair process, increases the secretion of anti-inflammatory cytokines, proteins that help protect the body from infection, increases the activity of T and NK immune cells, warriors that fight viruses and foreign cells, regulates blood pressure and stabilizes heart rate, which is extremely important in the elderly. According to a study published in Frontiers in Immunology 2020, sleep quality is directly linked to immune function, especially in the elderly. People who sleep well often have a sharper immune system than those who sleep poorly. Performing physiological release at night does not need to be rushed. It can be seen as a private relaxation ritual, helping you temporarily put aside the worries of the day. You can do it about 30 minutes before bedtime, so that the body has time to adjust before falling asleep. Take a light warm bath before relieving to help relax the muscles, expand the capillaries, and increase the feeling of comfort. Combine with soft music, dim lights, and a quiet space to help this process become a natural way to sleep. You need to note if you often wake up in the middle of the night, with a fast heartbeat, cold sweat, review your living habits, because the body may be reacting to an inappropriate biological rhythm. Self-pleasure at night should only be done gently, moderately. Avoid overdoing it, leading to exhaustion, especially if you have a history of cardiovascular disease. After learning about the benefits of each time, you may be wondering, so is there any scientific basis to really prove this? Or, how many times a week is appropriate to be both healthy and not have the opposite effect? This is when we listen to the voices of experts, those who have spent time seriously researching this topic. A typical study from Wilkes University, Pennsylvania, USA, published in the journal Psychological Reports, conducted a survey on nearly 120 adults, including the elderly. The results showed that people who have regular sexual activity, including self-relieving physiology, have up to 30% higher IgA antibody levels than the group of people who do not have this activity. IgA is one of the immune system's first lines of defense, acting as an antivirus shield in mucosal areas such as the mouth, nose, and throat. This is especially important in the context of older adults being susceptible to respiratory infections, colds, or age-related decline in resistance. However, experts also emphasize an important principle: appropriate frequency is key. According to Dr. Debbie Herbenick, a sexologist at Indiana University, USA, for older people, physiological activity should not be forced or too frequent. The ideal frequency should be between 1 to 3 times per week, depending on the physical condition, cardiovascular health, and energy level of each person. Overuse, meaning masturbating every day or many times in a row, can have the opposite effect. Reduces natural testosterone, making you feel exhausted. Increases cortisol levels, causing stress and insomnia. Causes hormonal imbalance, affecting the body's biological rhythm. In the long term, this can lead to fatigue, dizziness, reduced resistance, and even affect blood pressure and heart function in the elderly. We have talked a lot about physiology, about the effects on immunity, sleep, hormones. However, there is another factor that quietly but strongly influences the decisions of many people, that is emotions, beliefs, and traditional concepts. Many elderly people, maybe you or your relatives, still carry a sense of inferiority, or think that physiological release in old age is sinful, abnormal, or even shameful. But, is that really the case? In many East Asian cultures, talking about sex, especially with the elderly, is still taboo. Many people have been taught, sex is only for young people. It is not proper for old people to think about it. Relieving alone is wrong, immoral. And it is these beliefs that have caused many people to live in a silent inferiority complex, afraid to share, to hide their true needs, leading to psychological stress, mild depression, and disconnection from themselves. From the perspective of modern science and mental health, experts agree. Physiological activity, including in the form of self-relieving, is a natural part of being human. It is not bad. It is not sinful. And it is not immoral, if done properly, in moderation and without causing harm. Even in some major religious backgrounds, there have been more open views on this behavior, as long as it does not lead to addiction, detachment from reality, or affect mental health and family relationships. From a psychological perspective, the most important thing is not the behavior, but how you face yourself. Do you accept yourself as a human being who still has emotions? Do you allow yourself to take care of your spiritual life, in addition to your physical health? Many seniors, after receiving psychological counseling or participating in a support group, have shared that, as long as they overcome their inner shyness, they feel more comfortable, confident, and connected to themselves. Remember, physiological release, if done with understanding and moderation, is not something to be ashamed of. On the contrary, it is part of the journey of taking care of yourself, from the physical to the emotional. And at any age, you deserve to live well, and be true to yourself. Now that you understand the biological effects, the psychological aspects, and the expert advice, you may be asking yourself, so where do I start? How can I maintain this behavior in a healthy, non-embarrassing way, and actually be good for my health? This is where you can move on to the important part, applying it to your daily life in a gentle, safe, and appropriate way for your body type. Physiological release should not be something that you have to do right away, or force yourself to follow a certain standard. Instead, approach it as a mental care activity, like having a cup of tea, taking a slow walk, or listening to your favorite music. Here are some specific ways to help you make this journey easier. You can create a gentle schedule. Instead of doing it on a whim, you can incorporate this behavior into your weekly routine, as a private, quiet, and proactive ritual. For example, a leisurely Sunday morning, when you are not in a rush. Or a Wednesday evening, after a light meal, a warm bath, and a few pages of a book. Having a clear schedule will help your body get used to its natural circadian rhythm, without causing physical or emotional surprises. Or only do it when you are in a good mood. Don't release when you are stressed, frustrated, or in an unstable mood. Your body is more likely to react incorrectly, leading to a feeling of fatigue after doing it.
Prioritise times when you feel quiet, indisturbed.
Not anxious, not angry. And you can listen to yourself. If you have an underlying medical condition, consult your doctor. For those who are being treated for chronic conditions such as
High blood pressure,
cardiovascular disorders,
diabète, nervous breakdown,
or are taking sedatives. Self-relaxation, if done at the wrong time or too much, can affect blood pressure, heart rate, and the ability to recover from fatigue. So if you are being treated, feel free to ask your doctor during your regular checkup. Nowadays, many doctors are more open and understanding about this topic. They will guide you in the most suitable way for your physical condition. Dear friend, old age is not only about medicine, regular checkups, or meals on time. It is also a journey of listening to yourself, both physically and emotionally. There are things that seem small, like physiological release, but if done properly, with understanding and respect for yourself, can become the key to help you live healthier, happier, and more connected with yourself. Whether you choose the time of day to start a new day positively, or at night to lull yourself into a deep sleep, the most important thing is, do it with kindness to your body, and with love for yourself. If you find today's content useful, don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos. Share with relatives and friends. Everyone needs to be understood and accompanied. And leave a comment if you want us to continue doing more subtle, private, and intimate health and life topics. Wishing you good health, lots of laughter, and always knowing how to live peacefully in your own body. See you in the next video.